Welcome to RC4 Wireless, and we're excited to share today's tech tip with you. The magic word of the day is Ferrule Connectors. Ferrule Connectors will make your life so much easier when trying to connect wires to your dimmers. We've all been there. You've got LED tape that has 22 gauge wire and you're trying to connect it to your dimmer, and for some reason that wire just keeps slipping out of the terminal block. You just can't get it to stay in there. Rather than throwing your stuff across the room, the easy solution is to use Ferrule Connectors. Ferrule Connectors are cheap, the crimping tool is cheap, and they're easy to use. So let's take a look. All right, so we've got a 6-dim here, and we've got a 2-pole JSC connector, and we've got an RGB JSC connector. And we're gonna set these up to be able to be put in here with our Ferrule Connectors. Ferrule Connectors come in multiple different sizes. They can go anywhere from 24 gauge all the way up to 10 gauge. Today, we're going to be worrying about 22 gauge, which out of my kit is these turquoise connectors here. First, we're going to work with our power. I want to get myself a clean connection. So I trim off the ends there. I'm going to strip back the wire just far enough that it reached the end of the Ferrule connector. And then we're going to slip our connectors on. And we're going to use our crimp tool to do this. There's two kinds of crimp tools for your Ferrule connectors. You can go with square or hexagon. Doesn't matter which one you go with. I just prefer the hexagon for the tools that I use. So let's add on our last connector here. Crimp that down. And let's go ahead and connect ourselves to our dimmer. I'm going to slip the positive into the positive, the negative into the negative, make sure we're in there solid. And you only need to tighten down your screw terminals to their snug. You don't have to crank these things down super tight. You're going to actually damage the terminal. And so I've got my wires in there, and look at that, I can't pull it out. Now let's start with our RGB here. Let's work with this one. So I've already got some clean connections on here. I'm going to go ahead and strip my wire back. So that is the positive here. Slip the Ferrule connector on there. Crimp it. Let's move on to our other colors. Personally, the hardest thing about doing this is if you have big fingers, picking up these small Ferrule connectors. Other than that, this is extremely easy, and it's a workflow thing, right? You make your workflow easier for yourself in the long run, you're gonna have less trouble. Less trouble makes for happier days. So now we're gonna connect this up to our RC4 device. Your positive for your LED tape, which is typically the black wire here. That's going to go into the positive terminal on your 6-dim. It doesn't matter which terminal you go into. Out of the two positives, goes to the same place. I'm going to tighten that down so it's snug. I'm connecting it in RGB order, so I'm going to put red on to A, to dimmer A. Snug that down. I'm going to put my green into B. And we're going to put our blue into C. And there you go. Look how nice and organized that is, how clean that is. There's no frayed wire sticking out of the sides. This is just a happy unit to use. In the end, this is going to make your life easier. There's going to be less chance of shorting. There's going to be less chance of the wires coming out. You don't have to take the time to troubleshoot anything when using these connectors. Thanks for joining RC4 Wireless. Make sure you drop a like, ring that bell, and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with new tutorials coming out and how-to videos.